Hello and welcome to the Dawn Jarvis Show. This is a podcast where I meet people who are part of my diverse nurse network. Today, I have the absolute pleasure to talk to Michelle Raymond. Michelle is a leadership consultant, business development, and she's a TEDx speaker, and she's also a diverse supplier advocate. She is running the Diverse Business Summit, which is happening on the 10th of November this year, 2023, here in London. And here we are going to talk about all things networking, how to strategically place yourself with corporates and everything around business. Hello, Michelle. It's so brilliant to see you. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on again. It's been so long.
It has been so long. So Michelle is, I've known her since almost day one of my business. I got to know her through Clubhouse. Who remembers Clubhouse? And I've been following her ever since. I've worked with her, and I've supplied work for her, and she's supplied work for me too. So that is brilliant, and we're carrying on. So, and it's really, really, really good to see you. And I'm really excited about the business summit, the Diverse Business Summit, which is really important to both of us, the diversity in suppliers, and how we can get our businesses out there and working to support community. So tell us all about this Diverse Summit. Who's going to be there, and what can we expect?
Oh, exciting, exciting. I'm telling you, Dawn, always excited to talk about this because it was a dream I had like almost about 5 years ago. And I remember telling a few people, oh, I want to do an event, but I'm too nervous, I'm too scared, and all of this. And I just cannot believe that on the 10th of November, it actually becomes real. And sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, oh my God, I'm actually doing this. But I think the driving force behind me doing this is very clear. I want to see more diverse businesses. And just for context, I'm talking about diverse in this context. I'm talking about small business owners, women-run businesses, ethnic minority-owned business owners. I think there's a place for us. Most certainly there's a place for us. And we are equipped with so many skills and knowledge and just life experiences that we can support more corporate companies. And when I talk about corporate, I'm talking about just organizations that have staff, right? So it doesn't have to be the big BPs of the world or the big Apples of the world. We are talking about organizations that need help with their staff, need help with productivity or focus, or need tech support, or need it could be anything around well-being, anything where they need help with their staff. There's people like us who are fully equipped and knowledgeable to support them. The problem is there's such a big gap, such a big divide between what these companies want and what we can supply. How do we bridge that gap? So that's what the event is about, is to give accessibility and possibility for entrepreneurs to raise their visibility and their market readiness. In a nutshell, that's what it is. That is what the event is about.
That is fantastic. Accessibility, possibility, loving that. I'm loving that. And I think, as as a small business owner myself, and a solopreneur, really, I haven't got staff at the minute. I have had staff, but it's around what is possible. It is possible to work with corporates, as we both know, and I have, and you have, and to utilize your skills. And I think that business owners are always looking for that opportunity where they can sort of like get some, sort of foothold in sort of like corporates, and sort of like to give them that lift around so they can showcase their skills. What sort of opportunities do you think that will be available to people? Now we talk about networking, and I sort of want to hear a bit about who's coming, and sort of what would be the benefits of coming. I'm sold, bought my ticket ages ago, but and one of the reasons we're doing this is we want more people to hear about it and to utilize the opportunity of actually going to a summit like that, because we believe that it's a really good place to go to promote your business.
Oh yeah, most certainly. And I love the bit that you just said. It's a place that you can promote your business, and not just to the speakers, but to the other professionals and entrepreneurs in the room. So we have invited guests. So we have obviously our speakers. We have speakers from Lloyd's Banking Group. We have speakers from Meta, as you know, is the biggest tech company in the world. We have JC Decor, who are the biggest outside advertising marketing company. We have Ernst & Young Professional Services. So, and we have MSD UK, and MSD UK is an advocacy group for entrepreneurs that want to sell their services into corporates. So we have all of those, but they are then inviting other brands and other companies. So you're going to be surrounded by different organizations, small, medium, and large. So you are going to have that access. Your access comes in the form of networking. Your access comes in joining the masterclasses and the roundtables that we have put on for the day. So there'll be 3 masterclasses happen simultaneously, and people can choose which ones they can go to. There's going to be one with Claudine Reed, and she's running on how to be consistent in your business to scale, and talking about governance, because we'll hear from the panel why governance and legal regulations is key when they want to work with suppliers. So she's going to be running a masterclass on that. Then we have Suki, who's going to be talking about procrastination, because when I've spoken to people, and as you know, I run a membership, and it's that procrastination, that fear of success, fear of failure, that is stopping people from actually putting their heads above the parapet to think, yeah, actually, I could do this. Then we have another masterclass, and that is how to use tech in your marketing to market to corporates. We've got it covered, and I've made sure I've handpicked all of these people who have secured corporate contracts with and without tendering. We have a panel in the afternoon with Rapunda Kerr, who heads up Asian Women in Business. She's a brilliant woman who does a lot of work with corporates. We also have Ashanti, myself and Ashanti. We've done some work, not done some work together. I spoke at one of her events that she organized, got to know her. When I sat and spoke with her, her mind, my God, I can't wait for you to hear from her in terms of how she gets her corporate engagement. She's super focused. We're going to hear from her, and you'll also hear again from Siki. So I have brought together, I feel I've brought together the creme de la creme of people who walk the talk and talk the walk. I don't want anybody on our stage who are good at saying one thing but live and do something different. And we have a fireside chat with Tim Campbell, who was, if people don't know, he was the first apprentice winner, and who is now one of Lord Sugar's aide. He has a heart for the people, and so I really wanted him on board. And instead of him being interviewed, he is going to be the host, and he will be interviewing Claudine Reed, and they're going to be having a dynamic discussion on how to get corporate ready. And what they want is to open the floor very soon, very quickly to the floor, so that people who have questions around what does corporate readiness look like, what do I need to do to be supplier ready, they want to answer all those questions. So it's a full packed day. So by 5 o'clock, everyone will be tired. But you're going to leave with so much more insight, so much more knowledge. You're going to build those relationships. And the great thing about it, Dawn, is I'm doing something that not other events do. A lot of people want to work with corporates, and the one question I get asked all the time, where do I find them? So they're not going to come to your house. You're not going to meet them going shopping in Aldi. Is it Aldi or Aldo?
Aldi, yes.
Aldi, there you go. You're going to find them at this event because I am bringing them to you. So for you to see them, to meet them, to sit in their round tables, to have those discussions, you have to be in there. And this is why I've organised on the 1st of November, organising it's a pre-event masterclass. So every attendee, including our exhibitors, they are part of the attendee, they get a chance to work out how do I leverage this event? And those who can't make it, you'll get the recording. So, and that's why I purposely am putting an hour and a half aside with myself and my team. We've actually got some of the speakers coming in to come in. They're passing through to say hello. And we have people flying in from Dubai and from Doha. They'll be jumping on the call. They'll be there in person. So listen, I've pulled out all the stops. Let's just put it this way, Dawn.
I
I've
know,
got that
man. You've worked
because
really hard.
I've worked hard on this. I'm not going to lie. I've
I
worked
know. This sounds amazing. This sounds amazing because I think that was one of the questions that I was going to ask you. As an attendee, what do you think? What should you be doing to leverage the event, to leverage the opportunities to the people in the room? And we've had discussions about this, many times around, going to an event is part of your marketing for your business, but you need to have an objective. You need to know what you want to get out of the event. You need to have a look at the attendee list. You need to, thinking about the questions, like if I was in the room with your man that you just talked about, can't remember his name. Yes, that's right. What would I ask him? Because that might happen. You might be standing next to him at the coffee, and then what would you ask him? What are the things that you know about him? How could you start that conversation? Which is all about the power of networking, which we're very much into. So I really love this sort of like pre-event. How do you leverage going to the event? Because I think one of the things that people don't realize, they're so busy running their business and trying to get leads and trying to get clients, is that part of it is talking to people about yourself and the business and what you're trying to achieve, what your offer is, and how you're going about it in an interesting way. So, and I think that sort of like going to events like these is part of it, even if you don't talk to anybody and you just listen to go to the masterclasses. It's something, but there's also something to think about. How do you leverage that opportunity? Because you're taking a day out of your business, and there's a thing called opportunity cost. So there's something else you could be doing that day. So you need to, so it's a money making day. So how are you going to potentially increase the income for your business by going to the event? And I think you've explained perfectly how that you would do that. Would you agree?
Yes, I think, and you know what, I wanted to do that because I think many people see going to an event as it's just a one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
That you just go there and you forget about everything. And I don't want that to happen, to the point that we're considering as a team of doing a post-event masterclass. Is now we're giving you the tools beforehand, what to look out for, what to do, how best to approach people, get your value proposition in mind, prepare. Because they're running a pitch competition for 3 lucky winners who answer 3 questions correctly. But you have to be there from the beginning of the day. So you're here because we're taking questions from the beginning and from the middle. And then you answer the 3 questions right. We select the 3, and you literally get a chance to go on stage in front of a captive audience and pitch. So we want people to prepare for that. But it's also the post event. What do you do now? So you've got these contacts, you've got somebody's email address, you understand, and not just from the speakers, but the people sitting next to you, sitting around you, who you've met over coffee. How do you maintain those relationships without bugging them? What can you feasibly do together? So we're going to be looking at doing a post-event masterclass on that. So now you know how to leverage the new connections you made at the event.
Fantastic. That's really, really good, isn't it? It's sort of like to see it as part of your marketing strategy, and to sort of like, one of the questions I was going to ask you was, from your point of view, and also from an attendee point of view, what would you class as success at being a successful event?
I'll tell you what the success looks like. For me, it's going to an event with the mind to connect with at least 3 people. I don't need to connect with everybody. I want 3 good people. And my connections could be somebody who is an insider. It could be somebody, and when I say insider, it might be somebody who is inside a business I would love to work with. Or if I connected with somebody who is an influencer, that means somebody who has their ear to the person who holds the purse strings or the impacted, because I might be sitting next to somebody who is a potential leader, who is an employee who wants my skills. So I may not have got a corporate contract, but I've left with a potential client sitting next to me. So the impacted, the influenced, or the insider. That's how I'm going with my mindset to the event. That's who I want to connect with. And success looks to me is building those connections, and probably within 3 to 6 months we're working together. That's what I would confirm for me. It would be different thing for different other people, but like you're right, you have to go with an objective in mind. And then I look at, if it never happened within 6 months, I'm not holding anyone responsible but myself. What should I have done? How should I have followed up? Should I have just waited for them to contact me? Or, did I not come ready with an offering on how we can work together? So that's how I would look at it, because I believe that if something didn't happen, it may not have been the right time, or it could be me actually slacking off. Let's call it,
Yeah.
tree, right?
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, that sounds great. So it's almost going with a blueprint of what you want to get out through the day. So I do some work in the hospitality industry, and and they see any event as potentially money making, and they actually, and I find this fascinating, they actually account for the costs of the event with the opportunities that they get, and they actually put that in pounds and pence. So they know, and they've worked out that it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it to run an event or run something. And then because of what comes out of that for them and their business. So I think that's fascinating, and I know that that will work out for you, and the sort of the pounds and pence, and that might not even be why you're doing it, because I know you've been talking about it for a long time. But I think that the attendee should think about it in that way. So it's a long day, and it's getting there and getting back, but the opportunities that you'll get by going there, even if it's just learning about yourself and your business, and how your business maps against what people are saying about what they want from businesses, that is, you can actually make a financial sort of like calculation about how much that is worth to you and your business. So I love that, and I'm really looking forward to it, and to going. Is there anything you want to say finally? I do want to hear, if people want to go, if people want to connect with you, how they would do that. And so I just want to hear, I've got anything finally to say, and any encouragement for people to come to the business of it.
Yeah, I think we've touched on most bits, but I think I want people to do is be open to opportunities, and not to close yourself off and think, oh, actually, I was looking for this, but you didn't get it. Because I am an avid believer that there's opportunities everywhere. I'll give you a quick story. I went to an event. I paid, I think it was £300 to go to an event, and the event was fine. Everything was fine, no problem, great event. What was the game changer for me was I was standing over coffee, and there was a lady there, and we were just having a chat. I didn't know who she was or anything at this point. And then she asked me what I do. The key thing here is I was ready to tell her what I did in a clear and succinct way. I didn't waffle. I didn't go all around the houses. I was able to give her, now this time, remember, I don't know who she is. I don't know what she does. So I couldn't tweak what I do in alignment to what her requirements. I just told her what I did. And she said, oh my God, how interesting is this? I would love to get you in to do a talk at one of our events. Let me put you in contact with the HR person. I was just like, what? And within 2 months, I was speaking at this event. And I had to do some research because I didn't know who the company was, but I found out that they are one of the biggest pharmaceutical practices in the UK. I clearly didn't know them, but I now know them now. But I say that to tell you that I was just open to any opportunity. So I was just having coffee and I was just speaking, I was being myself. And I think being yourself is going to go a long way in these sorts of scenarios. Not trying to put on all the airs and graces. Don't try to be something that you're not and then you fall short and you trip up. Just be yourself. And that's what happened. So did I make a return on my investment? Oh, yes, I did. And then some. And now I've built a really great relationship with her. And the trick is, I guess, and this is for everybody listening, you are going to meet one person, one or two, three people there that you connect with. Once you find that person, also find out who they are connected to, because you want to have more than one contact in the organization, because when they move on or be promoted, you're left high and dry. And so I did ask her, I said, oh, who else in the company should I know about? And she goes, oh, actually, let me introduce you to somebody else. And she introduced me to someone, and they were actually leaving their role. And she goes, well, I think they're going to Jones Lang LaSalle. And I said, okay. And she goes, well, actually, I might introduce you to someone at Jones Lang LaSalle. So do you see how it works? And I think if you come from a place of serving and to say, how can I make it easier for you? So instead of them working out what I do, I create them an email, and I call it the self-forwarding email. So literally all they need to do is put the salutations on and they can send it. I need to make their job easier. So these are some of the tips that I want to share more, and that I will always continue to share with people in my circle. But it's just you need to make other people's lives easier if you want to be remembered and if you want to secure these contracts.
That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle. You've given us so many hints, tips, and tricks, and there's going to be more at the Diverse Business Summit, which is on the 10th of November. How, if you don't already know about it, how can you find out and get tickets to go, and how can people connect with you?
Yes, I'm all over social media talking about
You
it.
are.
So we do have a website, and it's called the Diverse Business Summit.com. But if you can't find that, literally you need to just find me on LinkedIn under Michelle Raymond, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, and every post I put out, I have the link. You can just click the link and go straight to it. So, and it's also on all of my bios, so I'm easy to be found.
So I look forward to seeing you at the summit in person, and hopefully being on the pre-event as well. And also, if you come to the summit, you'll also meet me as
Yes.
well, because I'll be there as well.
And can I just say something, guys? Can I just say something? Dawn is a good person to know. Mark my words. I don't always be singing everybody's praises, but Dawn is a good person to know. So this is what we're talking about: connecting with the right people, being in the right rooms, and yeah, she's one of the good ones.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you again for being with us and being on the Dawn Jarvis Show. And that's it for this episode. And I look forward to seeing you at the summit and seeing you again here soon. Take care. Bye bye.